Hello and welcome to day 5 of the Christmas Craft Countdown, where I'm sharing a new Cricut Christmas papercraft project every day for 20 days. Today's project are these quick and simple Cricut Joy cards. They're designed to be cut on the Cricut Joy machine, but I've included versions to cut on the other machines too, such as the Makers, Maker 3s, Explore Air 2 and Explore Air 3. If you've never cut one of these insert cards on those bigger machines, keep watching to find out how to do it. Let's get started. If you haven't already registered your free ticket for the Christmas Craft Countdown, go to craftwithsarah.com/CCC to do so. Once registered, check for an email from me with subject line Christmas Craft Countdown ticket information or any of the other emails from me that you've been sent throughout this countdown. Can't find them? Check your junk or spam box to see if they've gone there by mistake. These emails contain the link to view the countdown projects and download today's files. Scroll down the page to find today's project. Click the button to start the files automatically downloading to your computer or mobile device. Each download is only available for free for 24 hours after it goes live. If you have missed some, check out the Instant Access Bundle at craftwithsarah.com/CCC bundle, which gives immediate and ongoing access to all of the files from the Christmas Craft Countdown. All downloads come in zip folders. You need to unzip them before you can upload the files into Cricut Design Space. The main focus of this video is going to be using the Cricut Joy style cards on the larger Explore and Maker machines, and you don't need the fancy new 4x4 card mat, just your regular Cricut mat will be absolutely fine. However, before I will go on to that, I'm just going to super duper quickly recap how to cut these on a Cricut Joy, because there are a couple of things that are different to the video I did for Halloween. However, if you are new to cutting on your Cricut Joy and you'd like a more step-by-step, in-depth tutorial, check the links in the description of this video, as I'll link to some more detailed tutorials in there. This one is going to be super duper quick so that I can move on to the Explore and Make versions. Once you've downloaded and unzipped the folder, we need to get the SVG file into Cricut Design Space. Go into Upload and then Upload Image. You can then either click Browse to find the file on your computer or drag and drop it in. Make sure you choose the unzipped version of the folder, and then within there are 2 subfolders. 1, Cricut Joy Insert Card version, and 2, Cricut Explore or Maker version. As I said, we'll start with a very quick recap of the Joy version. In here, you've got 3 different file types. For Design Space, you need the SVG files. And then I'll choose one of these. So let's go for the Fancy Tree. It will look like this. Press Upload. Click it and press Add to Canvas. If you're using the pre-made Cricut insert cards, then you won't need the yellow rectangle because your pack of cards should come with those inserts already. So you can click it in the Layers panel and press Delete on your keyboard to get rid of it. If you're cutting your own insert cards, and if you don't know how to do that, check the link in the description of this video to see how to do that, because I went through that in the Halloween version when we made the Joy cards for the Halloween Craft Countdown. Now these designs are a little bit different because I've included some draw layers, and this is where the Cricut will actually do some drawing with the pens as well as the cutting. You can tell which are my draw layers because I've done them all in green. Let's zoom in so you can see a little bit better. So I want the Cricut to draw all of the snow in the background. We need to tell it to do that. It doesn't know it automatically. So click on the layer that has the green, and then over in the Operations drop-down, change it to Pen. Make sure you've got your Cricut Joy selected over here. And then you can choose the colour of the pen, whatever you want to do. Let's go for blue. Before you cut it out, click on it to select these 2 layers and then press Attach down on the bottom right. And that's what tells your Cricut Joy that you want it to actually do the drawing on the card. Otherwise, it will try and do it on a completely different bit of card. Make sure the design is 4 inches wide and 5.25 inches tall. And then click Make It when you're ready and it will connect to your Joy. You want to choose the card mat in here And then in here, you've got your 2 different sizes. And I'm using the one that it's designed for, 4.25 by 5.5. But if you've only got the bigger ones, you can do them on those 2. It's just your lines won't match up, your corners won't match up. So you'll have to cut a different insert. If you can't see this card, the 4.25 by 5.5, it is a little bit buggy at the moment. So a way to fix it is to click Cancel, click on the design, change the height to 5.24, and then click Make It again, choose the card mat, and then it should show you that smaller card size. So if you're not seeing it, you just need to make the design a teeny tiny bit smaller, and then it should appear. You then go ahead and get this cut out on your Cricut Joy, follow the instructions on screen. It will tell you when to put the pen in and when to put the blade in. So that was my very quick Cricut Joy overview. Now let's look at how to cut these designs on a Cricut Explore Air 2, Explore Air 3, Maker, or Maker 3. All right, I'm going to start again. Go into Upload and then Upload Image. Choose the unzipped version of the download folder, only this time we're going to go into the folder called 2 Cricut Explore or Maker version. Again, we want the SVG files and I'll select the same one, so that fancy tree. And you see this one looks different. We've got the whole card and we have an envelope template too. Press Upload and then click on the design and press Add to Canvas. This should all load in at the correct size, but I'm going to double check. To double check, click on the design and ungroup it by pressing the Ungroup button at the top. Click away and then click back to the card. The card should be 8.5 by 5.5, which it is, so that's all good. If your card isn't that size, then you can resize it. Just make sure you also change the envelope too so that it will still fit. Once again, we need to do our draw layer. First, you'll notice I've got this little exclamation mark over here that says not supported by Joy. That's because this is too big to cut on the Joy. Remember, this is our Explore and Maker version. So I just need to change my machine selection up here, and then that error triangle goes away. Let's change my base card by clicking it in the Layers panel. I'm just going to change it so that it's not black, so that the next bit's easier to see. Zoom in. And now I can click my green layer and then change this to a pen layer and choose whatever color you want. Maybe we'll go for a dark blue again. Once again, we need to attach this to the base card. First, click the base card and you see at the moment it's in a group with that gray layer underneath. We need to ungroup it, so press Ungroup. Then click the Draw layer in your Layers panel, and you might want to rename it by double clicking and then type in Draw, just to make it easier to know which one's which. You could call that one the card base. The grey becomes the insert, and we'll look at the envelope in a moment. Click the Draw layer, press Shift on your keyboard and then select the card base. Now we've got both of these selected. Press Attach, and that's what tells the Cricut to do the drawing on your base card. Before you do that, however, you might want to add a score line down the card to make it easier to fold. So I'll undo that attach and, oh, where's it gone? Go back over here, go into Shapes and choose a score line. My height is 5.5 inches, so I need to make that the same. And now I can first select the draw layer and the card base. I'm going to group them together. Otherwise, when you do this next bit, it will move the draw layer so it won't be in the right place. Now this is grouped, I can select the score line as well. So to do that, I had this selected. Press Shift on the keyboard and click the score line. Go into Align and Center, and that puts the score line exactly in the middle. You can't see it now because it's underneath. Click and drag it to go to the top. Now I'm going to click my card and ungroup it again. Then select the score line, press Shift and choose the draw layer and the card base, and then press attach. And that is now all ready to cut, and my Cricut will do the scoring and the drawing. And if I click Make It just to show you, here is how it will look. And you see this is just my regular 12x12 cutting mat. I don't need anything fancy. If you don't need to make the envelope, you can click it and just press delete and then it won't cut it. If you do want to cut a matching envelope, you need to do a couple of extra steps. I'm going to click on the red rectangle layer and change this to a score line. Then select the group that has the envelope and the score line in it and press attach. Remember, attach tells the Cricut to score where it looks like it should be scoring. Now when I click Make It and look at my envelope, it should look like this. It fits on a 12x12 inch sheet of card and it will do my score line and then cut around the edge. To stick the envelope together, it's really easy. Just fold in the two flaps on the side, add a little bit of glue down the bottom of each one, then fold up the bottom and stick it on. Put your card in and then you can fold down the top flap and seal it with some glue or tape, washi tape, stickers, wax seal, however you want to do it. And this is now completely ready to cut. So we've got our insert piece, and this usually looks best when cut from glitter or holographic or metallic cardstock, just to give a little extra bit of sparkle. We've got our envelope, and this is best cut with lightweight card or scrapbook paper, something that's light and easy to fold. And then finally, we've got the card, which is good to cut from just your any coloured cardstock or white cardstock, as long as it's thick enough that it will be able to stand up properly once you've folded it in half. For this layer, the Cricut's going to score, draw, and cut. So there you go. Here's how to make the Cricut Joy style cards on the larger cutting machines. I hope that this has been helpful and that it helps you to see that you can use these designs on your larger Cricut machines. They're not just limited to the Cricut Joy. Whilst it might seem that we had to do quite a lot of steps to get it to the point where it was ready to cut, once you've done it a few times, you'll be able to do it in just a few minutes without even having to think about it. So you'll be able to go from uploading the design to cutting it out in probably less than 5 minutes. So don't worry if it's something to learn at the beginning. The more you do it, the more you get used to it, the faster you'll get, and you'll be knocking out these cards in no time at all. Here are my two different cards. This one's cut on my Maker and this one was cut on the Joy. I cut my own insert card and insert. Again, check the link in the description for how to do that. And my Cricut has done all the drawing. Now, one thing I really don't get about the Joy is sometimes it cuts it too close to one side. So I've got a bigger gap on the edge on the right side than I do on the left. And also it's closer to the top than the bottom. This annoys me a lot because I really like stuff to be well aligned. I've read online and it's just something to do with how you feed your mat in when it touches the wheels. But if anyone knows a great trick of making sure it lines up properly, please let me know. All you need to do to finish the card is get your insert piece and then slide it in to all 4 of those corners. You don't need any glue for these cards, unless you're making the envelope, which I'll show you in a minute. And there we go. If you're wondering why there wasn't an envelope template for the Cricut Joy card, it's because the Joy can't cut big enough to do the envelope, so that's why. But this is a standard USA A2 card, so you should be able to find a pre-made envelope for it. All right, here is the one that I cut with my Maker. So it's a bit different because we've got the whole of the card here, and going to fold it down its score line. Where is its score line? I've used hammered effect card, so I can't quite see it. There we go. And just burnish that down a bit. And because we had this one as the Maker design, this one is perfect on every edge. So I actually prefer doing these on my Maker than the Joy because I know it's going to be perfectly aligned every time. Once again, my maker did the drawing, so it's drawn all those little snowflakes on. And then just like with the Joy version, we need to put the insert into the holes. There. And then it shows through all the gaps and it looks beautiful. You just need to bend it around a little bit to get it sitting flat. And there's our card all finished. And now we have the envelope. I've cut this from some lightweight scrapbook paper, and how I would put this together depends a little bit on whether I'm posting it in the mail or if I'd be giving it by hand. If I was going to post it, then I'd fold it so that the white was on the outside, just so it'd be easier to write my message on, and so it's a bit more like a standard envelope. And then when the person opens it, they'd see all the pretty pattern inside. However, if I'm giving this to someone by hand, I like the pretty paper to be on the outside, as it just makes a nicer looking envelope. So that's what I'll show you how to make. Let's turn it around this way, and we've got our score lines. So I'm going to fold upwards along all of those. 1, 2, 3, and where are you? I can't see this one. There it is. 4. Position this so that the flap with the straight edge is on the bottom. And then we're going to fold in these two sides and then add a little bit of glue down there and there. You can also use double-sided tape if you want, but I found glue tends to hold better, especially if you are putting this in the post. You don't want the envelope to fall apart. Fold up the bottom and glue it down. This would then be all ready to put the card in once it's been written. So you would just slide it in like any other envelope, fits perfectly in there. And then you'd fold down the top and either glue it shut, use some washi tape, or any of the other things that I said earlier in this video. So there we go. That was, oh, my glue's coming apart. I shouldn't have put the card in before it was actually dry. That's fine. I'm just going to put that out the way. As I was saying, here is my finished card, my maker version, and my Joy version. So hopefully this video has showed how you can use the Cricut Joy cards on your bigger machines without needing to buy anything extra. And hopefully this time, for the Christmas Craft Countdown, the Joy cards, these cards won't be your least favourite, like they were in the Halloween one. But we shall see. Let me know in the comments, have I won you over to this style of card or not? If I haven't, that's totally fine. I can take it, but just drop me a comment, let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed this video on how to make these cute Christmas Cricut Joy cards and how to make them on the larger machines too. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my YouTube channel for loads more Cricut and Christmas crafts. I hope to see you tomorrow for day 6 of the Christmas Craft Countdown. Thank you for watching. Bye!